Hi boys, welcome back to another video. Now today I'm going to show you how to make your own mini boiler. So first off, you want to go to a random Kmart near you or a Walmart that sells really cheap lollies and get a plastic container that has soft sides so you can squeeze it. So it's like thin plastic and it's got to be PET because that's the best one for drilling through. So make sure you guys are subscribed, make sure you leave a like to support the channel, and make sure you go to the description to check out my Discord server. The second step is to go and buy yourself a 500ml can, doesn't matter of what drink, but I go to Asian supermarkets and I like to buy these Green Power vegetable drinks. They're like $2 a can and they're full of juice. And you might want to put them in your thing. And you want to empty your plastic container and empty your 500ml can, either by drinking or giving it to your friend. Then you want to drill holes in the bottom of your plastic container as air holes, do about 8 and make them fairly big. Then you want to cut off the rings on the top of the container, the screw tops. Just cut them off completely. Then you want to cut it down to the second line so it's nice and wide, and then cut off the top of your aluminium can, your 500ml can. Using scissors is doable. Then you want to cut it a little bit more with about 6 long flaps. Then you want to cut off 3 of those flaps to make a tripod shape with 3 flaps still there. And then you want to fold them over the edges of the container with no top so that it sits nicely and can hold water as a cup. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make your what's it called? Your wick for your WD40 candle. So you want to get some handy towel or thirsty paper, whatever you want to call it. Make sure it's nice and thick and absorbent. Then you're going to want to cut off an amount so then when you fold it over, it'll fit nicely into a little glass jar. So you can get a little glass jar that's like you can use an old spices jar as long as it can have enough paper towel tightly rolled in it. I've got very, very small medicine bottles, like glass medicine bottles. Make sure they're glass, by the way. Plastic will probably melt when you're trying to use it. So yeah, and make sure there's a smallish opening. So you're going to fold it over, and then if it's too wide for your container, so it would stick out if you stuck it in, cut off some more off that. So once you've done that, you want to fold it over again, and then hold it up next to your little container and just see if it'll be tall enough. So I think that was tall enough for mine. And then you want to tightly roll it, like very, very tightly. So start by folding the bottom up a little bit, fold it up some more. It makes rolling really easy, and then start a really, really tight roll. It's got to be nice and tight so then you can tape it over and then stick it through the top of your container. In my case, I did it tightly, but also no matter the size of the opening of your glass little bottle, the tighter the better, because then it can be more safe and the fire can't get down to the reservoir of WD-40. So now you want to grab your trusty Scotch tape and open the box if you haven't already got it open. Then you want to grab your scissors and cut off the starting roll, still keeping your tightly rolled paper towel wick rolled with your fingers, and then cut off an extra bit of tape. If I can just get it to work. So once you've got that bit of tape, then you want to keep holding tightly to your tightly rolled paper towel wick, and then tightly roll the tape around that. This will hold it together while it acts as a wick. If you don't have a tightly held together wick, then it can start falling apart and things can go pretty bad. You can start getting fuel leaks and all that sort of thing. So now that you've got that done, you want to grab your little bottle or jar. In my case, I've got this old medicine bottle. It's got a small opening. The top is about 5 mils that it can store. And you're going to try and put it in to the jar, but after you've put the WD-40 in. So I was in a bit of a rush making this video, so I'm just going to tell you how to do it properly. You can watch the video and how I did it then, but I spilled a little bit. So A pro tip is to do a small spray of WD-40 into your container and then blow it, because then the bubbles that form on the top will disappear. So once you've done that, you just do a little bit more and a little bit more until you get about 3/4 of your container full of WD-40. So then when you put your paper towel in, it won't overflow. Also, the paper towel will soak up a lot of WD-40, but when you initially put it in, it might not work. So as I was doing this, I was actually blowing into the top to make the bubbles die down. So it should be about 3/4 full, not including any tiny bubbles of carbon dioxide from the can. So that looks about right. I spilled a little bit, so I'm going to clean that up in a sec. So I've just got my different paper towel to clean that mess up. You don't want to leave any WD-40 anywhere, because that can be bad, as this is in the container, not to get on your skin as best you can. And it's not a very good fume to inhale if it starts evaporating in a room where you're preparing. So make sure you clean it up when you're done. So now you want to tightly squeeze and twist your wick into it. If you don't twist, it'll be a lot harder to get it in. And then once you get to the tape, you want to twist a bit faster, because the tape will make it a bit more, it'll have less grip on the tape, because the Scotch tape has that slippery top. So if you have a little bit sticking out, that's just fine. You can trim that, and the shorter the wick, the better, as long as it's not all the way into your reservoir. So just trim that off, and you should have a little sharp oval shape, and you squeeze it, and that'll make a nice wick. So if your WD-40 isn't coming all the way to the top real quick, you can tip it upside down and give it a shake. Just a gentle shake. If you shake too much, then it'll start spilling out the top. So there you can see it's nice and liquidy on the top of my little candle. So now you've successfully made your WD-40 candle to heat the water with. So now we're going to go to the container. You're going to take off your water cup. You're going to fill it up and then put your candle inside, and then put the cup back on top. And then through one of the oxygen holes, you can light the candle with a match, and then it will start heating the water. So I've skipped ahead about 5 minutes, and we've already got some steam. Another thing to keep in mind is that this combustion produces a lot of soot, and this soot can stain lots of things. So you want to keep it nice and safely away from clothes, so don't you get your parents mad. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.